Hi my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Remo Or. This channel is dedicated for those that are working on their spiritual or personal development. Today's topic is going to be about the 4 different levels of breatharianism. Now, I know a lot of people have some confusion. A lot of people have old programs that have to do with this word, breatharianism. So I want to introduce to you guys this concept about the modern new type of breatharians and to show you that there's actual different levels. So it's not absolute, it's not only black or white. Complete in it, don't eat anything at all, don't drink anything at all, live off energy in the Himalaya mountains in India, or obese and eat everything and only indulging in the most terrible type of foods and stuff like that. So no, I want to introduce to you guys the different shades of gray, where I am at, where I was, the people I know and stuff like that. So stay tuned. We have noticed that there are actually 4 different categories of breatharians. Now, unlike a regular video that we start from level 1, I actually want to go back in reverse because I want to begin with the few that are actually level 4 breatharians, and that means that they actually go without food and without water. Now, how is this possible? How it's feasible? For every cell, there is an engine of light. We are consciously, our DNA is actually more open, more wide, and more complex than that of a tree. I'm not going to go into the how because it's really, really hard to explain. Plus, it requires an understanding that is beyond science and biology, but something that is more of the metaphysical. Dimensions, energies, vibration of the body, the consciousness that is interfering with the illusion of humanity and stuff like that. So, number 4 are actually a few individuals in the world, and again, you can really count them on 2 hands, the ones that we are familiar with, that also don't drink at all and also don't eat at all. That means that they also don't have, they don't urinate. It means that they don't have number 2s, bowel movements. It means that their system adapted in a completely different way. Now, some of them tell us that they had a very difficult process. For example, one of them lost all his teeth, and it took him another 3 or 4 months of being without any teeth to grow his teeth back. They actually do consume water, but not in a way that you would think. They actually, their pores of their skin open up. By breathing, they usually live in a place that is humid. He actually has learned through their process to take the energy of water from the air itself and to survive out of very, very little. A scientific study that was done on Prajani, a level 4 breatharian, where they actually ultrasounded his bladder, has shown that his bladder actually does contain urine, and then the body absorbs it. And then contains urine, and then the body absorbs it. So it's quite amazing because the body actually learns how to recycle the water. It means that the blood is still being cleansed by the kidneys. However, you don't actually waste it anymore because there's nothing coming from the outside. So those are 4 level 4 breatharians, and again, these are very, very few. Level 3 breatharians, that's where I am at, is people who are experiencing breatharianism, people who are not really hungry anymore, people who did go through the proper initiations, and even inside the level 3, there are people who consume more and people who consume less. None of us consume like a regular person does, or on average, of course, and none of us consume like we used to before our initiation. I would say that those that do consume, they consume very little. And then again, there are groups of those that consume once a week a meal. There's those that consume once a day, something very, very small in the evening. Those that do drink water, those that don't. In the beginning, my first year, 1 full year, I just drank, 2 glasses of juice or something like that a day. So it's people who are experimenting, people who are not ready to go to level 4. It's usually people who are living in the Western society, people who has families and stuff like that. Because when you go level 4, a lot of them have the characteristics of a person that also doesn't want to be involved sexually. In other words, your sexual desires kind of disappear and you want to be one with spirit. Your masculinity, your femininity become one. So I've noticed that level 4s are actually much more feminine, much more spiritual, and usually they're really, really lean. So some people say that they don't really look good, and that's why I chose to be a level 3. Plus, a level 4 has heard a calling for it. Prajani, for example, has a premonition, had this epiphany when he was 8 years old, that a goddess came up to him in his dream and just told him that from this day on, you are not allowed to drink or to eat anymore, and you will survive. So I didn't have that, even though my spiritual ego wanted that, but it didn't really happen, so I just decided to remain at level 3. Plus, it makes me more accessible, I believe, because a lot of people say, you're not one of those guides that is all the way up there and he survives out of these initiations, but you have a regular job. And that makes you grounded. You have one leg in the actual world with a family, and I'm an IT engineer, I'm a computer programmer. And on the other hand, you are actually wanting to work more on your spirituality and want to understand things. And that's what makes me kind of unique in between worlds. So that's level 3. Level 2 are people who have either done an initiation and are on and off the prana. In other words, they go 2 weeks yes, 2 weeks no, 3 months yes, 3 months no. They're kind of pondering this type of lifestyle. They're not fully integrated, as one might say. So it means that they do occasionally go through struggles. It means that their integration, again, is not complete. Usually we would say that a person after the initiation, it takes about 2 to 3 months to completely integrate it, and then the program has really shifted. The body is used to it, the mind is used to it, social pressures and other things like that, they don't bother you as much as before. So those are level 2s. It can also be people who are interested in this, people who are practicing dry fasting a few days a week, people who are practicing intermittent fasting quite often, people who are very, very connected. Level 2s, level 3s, and level 4s will usually not be the type of person that smokes cigarettes, will usually not be the type of person that eats meat or even dairy and stuff like that. They are more connected, and therefore they are eating food that is higher vibration, and they don't eat that occasionally. In other words, they do not surrender and they do not believe the body. They understand that it's a part of a program, and they understand that the consciousness has shifted to something that is beyond, and we understand that there is something that we define as prana, or the energy of life, that can actually sustain us when we allow it and when we change our belief to it. So those are level 2s. Level 2s usually, eventually, want to become levels 3, and sometimes they have just integration issues. Their spouse doesn't accept it, their mother doesn't accept it, their children don't accept it, they don't accept it, stuff like that. They're struggling in some way sometimes, and sometimes they're just happy where they are. They don't want to go more than intermittent fasting. They don't want to check out the next level for them. Level 1s are not actually breatharians, even though they are in the category. In other words, level 1s are people who are interested in this. It's like a very light version of level 2. So they're experiencing once in a while a detox, and they understand that it works for them. They went a long time ago from eating meat and being a carnivore to a vegetarian or a vegan. Maybe they experienced liquidarian or fruitarian for a while. They know that it exists, but for now, it's not for them. They know that it exists, but they don't imagine that they are capable of reaching that level. Sometimes the spiritual ego is involved, saying that we are not good enough, or other people are better than we are in this, and therefore we don't even try. Sometimes we have the excuses of the initiation costs money, or it takes a week and a half of being on holiday and I can't really do that right now. So level 1s are a very light version of level 2s. And of course, we can also say that there's level 0, people who are not familiar with breatharianism at all. People who are naturally, by the way, have a higher percentage, energetic percentage. People who are more excited about life, and therefore they eat less because there's a very strong connection between the physical body and the emotional body. People who have experienced fasting without understanding that they're experiencing it, and in the future, they will understand that it is a part of being some sort of a level of breatharianism. In other words, the pranic engine is open. So level 0 is most of the population. Level 1, of course, is less. Level 2 is less. Level 3 is less. And level 4 is really a bunch of individuals that are raising the consciousness in the world. And wherever you find yourself, it is perfect for the person that you are right now. You might aspire, because there's levels, you want to be the best. So a lot of my students, they come and I teach how to become a level 3, which for me is the first step. I don't think level 1, I think level 1 and level 2 is kind of like playing around and it's fun. It's sort of like you're an adolescent and you have a lot of girlfriends before you commit to someone that is more serious. But when you are more serious, then you choose to become a level 3. You do the integration appropriately in the right way. And afterwards, if you want, integrate it for a few months, see how you feel, and then your spiritual ego will be reduced. You will see if it is a real need that you have to display, to serve humanity by becoming a level 4. And then you can slowly reduce the juice and slowly reduce the water. You make sure that you are okay, the physical body is getting it, your mind is accepting it, society is not judging you too much and you're okay with it. And then you can become a level 4. Now, again, my spiritual ego wanted that. And eventually, when I talked to Bashar, by the way, I had a challenge with him, and he told me, are you really excited about it? And I said, not really. I feel like it's another way to serve humanity, but it's not really my passion. So I said, you shouldn't do it. And plus, your DNA is not adapted to it. He said it's going to be a very, very difficult process for you. And I assumed and I understood that, yes, every person has it easier or harder. And I can see it with my students as well. Some people go through a more difficult transition than others. And it's quite surprising because it's not the ones that you would think are the ones. So, like we said, most of the population, level 0. And that actually means I'm not really aware of breatharianism. I have absolutely no idea that I can be nourished in another way. Level 1, a lighter version of level 2. In other words, I'm experiencing this occasionally. I'm not very interested, or I don't think that I'm suitable for this. Level 2, people who are more dry fasting are aware that there is something that is called prana, are aware that we can be nourished from, we call it the air, but it's not really the air. It's pretty much about nature and about the consciousness. The pineal gland also has a job in all of this. It's quite complicated to explain everything in just a few minutes. Level 3 is people like me. In the beginning, I was only on juice. Now I'm playing around with it, eating a meal, 2 meals a week, something like that. Going many days on dry fasting, many days on water fasting, still don't feel hungry, still have a lot of energy. And level 4s are those few individuals that go without food and without water at all. And of course, level 3s occasionally go on level 4 for a week, 2 weeks, go back, experimenting with it. But you know, as human beings, we really need a hierarchy to be able to understand more. So this is why we build hierarchy. I was only familiar with this, by the way, just now. A few of my students in my last initiation in England came to me and gave me a brochure for one of the breatharian festivals, and they showed me my face on it. And I was like, what is this? They said, yeah, look, you're a level 3 breatharian. I was like, really? And I read the little notes and I said, I didn't know somebody made this distribution, but it makes a lot of sense. So, thank you very much for watching me, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. You can go online on my website, raymaor.com. You can check it out, because if you're interested in the breatharian lifestyle, your subconscious and your guidance are going to repeat it and say, dude, this is your next step. You've been looking for this your entire life. So if you're interested and you connect with me as a guide, check out my other materials, sign up to my newsletter if you want. And of course, like always, I will see you in my next video. Namaste, my friends.